This is a new drawing I've just started a little while ago, and I'm using water-soluble graphite to get my tonal values. I chose this particular plant because I found it very interesting example of line and shape, showing the negative spaces between the petals and the leaves and the little stalks. Make for quite an interesting design. I might work on it afterwards with either aquarelle pencils or perhaps ink or even watercolor. But this particular demonstration, I'm showing how one can use these water-soluble pencils using a water brush. Very simple tools that you need, materials, and keep a paper towel handy just to wipe on. First, to do a little of the shading. These ones have already had the water applied to them. So I'm working quite softly, building up gradually from light to dark with my pencil marks to show you how the water works on that. This is an HB, which is quite a light, gives you a light tone. And these particular pencils can be bought in anything from HB up to 8B, I think it is. 8B being the darkest, and HB being the lightest. It's the best idea to have flowers or your subject in real life as opposed to photographs to work from, because you can really study the plant or whatever it is you're doing in much more detail than you can from a photograph. For example, with the flowers, in a photograph you'll get one angle, whereas in real life you can see it in much greater detail, which really helps to gain a sensitivity and empathy with your subject, which I feel is very important. It's quite a slow process, but one that is really enjoyable because the results are generally gradual and you get a chance to see how your work's coming along slowly. So that's with a bit of water added. I've left some white spaces for the paper to shine through to add brightness, and you'll see how the shading actually gives volume to your subject. I can work in with a darker tonal value afterwards, wherever I find necessary. I work with the pencil very lightly, building up with strokes. Don't like the rubbing in technique to get shades. I prefer to apply different pressures on the pencil or graphite, which is very similar. Parts catching the light will be left white, and then a half tone where the grey appears. To strengthen the outline a little here. It's very important to work with a subject that inspires you, because you have a natural feel and a natural love for it. And when you're making the artwork, it's also important to allow your marks that you make on the paper, whether they be brush or pencil or whatever medium you're using, to flow with the direction, the growth direction of that particular plant or leaf or flower. And that one's ready for the water. You'll see it smooths out the texture very much. If you want a rough texture, this is a wonderful medium to use underneath as a ground layer. For example, if you were drawing a tree trunk or something with a rough surface, you can put this underneath and then work your texture on top afterwards. That's pretty dry, so I can add a little darker. I'm going to use just one 6B just to darken where there's least light, the shadow areas. It will give some depth to this particular flower. It's the first time I've actually drawn these bougainvillea flowers because they're quite tricky. They're not as popular as perhaps as the sunflower, the protea, the rose, but they are beautiful nevertheless and quite possible to do. Just strengthening some of my veins here. You'll see this comes much, much darker once the water is applied to it. If you do make mistakes, it's possible to rub out while it's still dry, but once it's wet, it's pretty difficult. It's quite set. I'm working on a Fabriano paper, which is a good quality paper. Fabriano design paper. There's various types. You get the textured, and this is a smooth one. So it takes the medium really well. So that's an idea. I'll include more next time. And I hope it inspires you to try using these water-soluble pencils. Lots of possibilities.